Their performances were just divine.
You want a glass of water or something?
No, I'm good. I'm God.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 portrayals of God in movies.
And what to you would be God-like?
For this list, we're restricting our choices to portrayals of a Christian-like God.
Change the weather. Ah, special effects, huh?
While some of the characters on our list are mere imposters or stand-ins for God, we're letting their heavenly performances onto our countdown.
Vengeance is mine, and I intend to take it on my own lazy and selfish nature, on the species that I created, on their representative. That's you.
Number 10. Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf, Citizen Toxie, the Toxic Avenger 4.
God?
Yeah, what do you want?
We just want to go home.
You bastard. What do you want to go home for? This is heaven. This is the best place around.
Though his part in this spoof superhero movie is more of a cameo, Hank plays an angry, loincloth-wearing god who's only allowed a select few into that great paradise in the sky during his time as the Supreme Being.
Bill Gullo. Polio.
God, I kind of think they invented a cure for that one.
Oh, God damn it.
While he was probably best known as a frequent guest star on Howard Stern's radio show, Hank's portrayal of a bad-tempered god worked in this wacky indie flick, although it wasn't exactly typical.
You tell the Pope to stop talking about me. He doesn't know me. He's an asshole. And tell him that his hat was f***ing stupid.
Yes, sir.
Number 9. Whoopi Goldberg, A Little Bit of Heaven.
Guess what? You're dying.
I am not dying.
She's played the creator of the universe before in It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie.
How do you have coffee in a bush?
Shrub. When you write the laws of the universe, you know where all the loopholes are. Hence, I created a coffee shrub.
But Whoopi also played God in this romantic comedy drama.
I love him. I love him. I love him. I really do. I really love him.
Maybe you should go back down and tell him.
After Kate Hudson is diagnosed with terminal colon cancer, God visits her to grant her 3 wishes, and to let her know that heaven isn't all that bad. While the movie itself was slammed by critics, many agreed that Whoopi made a decent deity, even if she seemed more like a genie.
Are you God? Well, not really. This is just the way you wanted to see me.
Well, I love Whoopi, so that's probably why.
Number 8. Ralph Richardson, Time Bandits.
I hate having to appear like that. It really is the most tiresomely noisy manifestation. Still, rather expected of one, I suppose.
We can't think of a better casting choice than a mature Shakespearean actor to play God. In this Terry Gilliam classic, a young boy accompanies a group of dwarves as they travel through time with help from a magical map. When the Supreme Being finally appears to the troupe in his true form, he's portrayed as a rigid administrative type.
Fiddy's dead. Dead? No excuse for laying off work.
Dressed as a dapper businessman, the god of the Time Bandits universe is also wise, all-knowing, and able to offer valuable advice on the necessity of evil.
Why do we have to have evil?
I think it's something to do with free will.
Number 7. Will Ferrell, Superstar.
Spirit in the sky. That song's about me.
When he wasn't busy playing Sky Corrigan, the object of Mary Catherine Gallagher's affections,
I call this one the Peppermint. Enjoy.
Ferrell was appearing to this devotedly Catholic schoolgirl as Jesus in this SNL spinoff.
Oh my God.
Oh my me.
Dressed just the way you'd expect, this groovy version of the Lord comes to Mary as a vision after she prays to him for help in getting her first kiss from the cutest boy in school.
Basically, your subconscious came up with me to help you deal. Dig?
The Holy One in this case is a composite character constructed by Mary's imagination, but he's also mellow and super into being a celebrity.
Get jiggy with it.
What?
You know, get jiggy with it. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Ow!
Number 6. Alanis Morissette, Dogma. Although Alan Rickman portrays the voice of God, Metatron, it's the Canadian singer-songwriter who offers up one of the most unlikely movie portrayals of God ever in this Kevin Smith comedy. portrayed for the majority of the movie as an old homeless man who loves skee-ball, the image of God in this film is turned on its head when he is eventually depicted as a woman.
Wax on, wax off.
As God, Alanis is mostly silent until she shows up and works some miracles. Number 5. George Murdock, Star Trek V: The Final Frontier.
It must be dragged from the darkness and forced into the light.
Spock's half-brother Sybok is searching the galaxy for a supreme being and needs the Enterprise to do it. He uses the ship and its crew to reach Shakari, the planet where all life began, and where he believes God can be found.
Does this better suit your expectations?
But when they arrive at the fabled planet, they find a godlike figure who's interested in taking over the starship.
Excuse me, I'd just like to ask a question. What does God need with a starship?
And taking out his anger in a decidedly ungodlike way.
Then here is the proof you see.
This higher power turns out not to be so powerful after all.
I couldn't help but notice your pain.
My pain?
It runs deep. Share it with me.
Number 4. Graham Chapman, Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Your knights of the Round Table shall have a task to make them an example in these dark times.
Good idea, O Lord.
Of course it's a good idea! Behold, Arthur, this is the Holy Grail.
Each of the Monty Python guys plays many different characters in one of their biggest films ever. But Chapman's portrayal of a snippy and grumpy god was a short but hilarious part of King Arthur's quest for the Holy Grail.
What are you doing now?
I'm averting my eyes, O Lord.
Well, don't! It's like those miserable psalms. They're so depressing.
This version of the Supreme Being stops Arthur to remind him what his quest is all about. But not before telling him and his friends to stop groveling.
Oh, don't grovel. One thing I can't stand, it's people groveling.
Sorry.
Wow, he's one difficult deity.
Don't apologize. Every time I try to talk to someone, it's sorry this and forgive me that and I'm not worthy.
Number 3. Charlton Heston, The 10 Commandments.
I am here.
This actor had quite a bit of experience playing biblical characters during his long career. But Heston's best portrayal of his holiness came through his breakout role in this 50s religious film about the life of Moses.
Put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground.
Though it's been debated that Heston actually provided the voice of the burning bush, his booming vocals fit the part like a glove. Sure, his commanding presence could be considered a bit over the top, but it's too good to ignore.
I will put my laws into their hearts, and in their minds will I write them.
Number 2. George Burns, Oh God.
I don't like to brag, but if I appeared to you just as God, how I really am, what I really am, your mind couldn't grasp it.
At over 80 years old, this comedy icon played a pretty average Joe-looking but likable God who acts as a companion to John Denver's Jerry Landers in this late 70s comedy.
Not what you expected, huh?
God arrives in the film to choose Jerry, a grocery store assistant manager, as the one to spread his gospel everywhere he goes. Jerry accepts this challenge, but not without getting himself sued for slander.
May I ask who you are, sir?
You better swear me in. You'll never believe it.
But fortunately, God shows up in court to prove everyone wrong.
I know how hard it is in these times to have faith. But maybe if you could have the faith to start with, maybe the times would change. You could change them. Think about it.
Before we honor our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Excuse me.
Yes?
I wish to lodge a complaint.
What is it this time?
Does you bow mighty low? Does you bow mighty low?
It's a pity you didn't sign the Smiths, but you were right about Mick Hucknall. His music's rubbish and he's a ginger.
You see me and you hear me as you imagine me.
Number 1. Morgan Freeman, Bruce Almighty.
Trying to fix a light. Tell me if it's working.
Yeah, seems to be. Kind of bright, though.
Yeah, it is for most people. Spend their lives in the dark, trying to hide from me.
Who better to top our list than the voice of God himself? Playing a good-humored and somewhat ordinary version of God,
Do you mind giving me a hand with this floor?
the king of voiceovers has to deal with Jim Carrey's character as an unlucky TV reporter who thinks he can do God's job better than him.
The gloves are off, God. God has taken my bird and my bush. God is a mean kid with a magnifying glass. Smite me, O mighty smiter. Now, I'm not much for blaspheming, but that last one made me laugh.
Thanks to the dozens of complaints Bruce throws at him, Freeman flips the script and lets him walk in his shoes for a week. After all, even God needs a vacation.
God doesn't take vacations, does he? Do ye?
Did you ever hear of the Dark Ages? Besides, I'm covered. You can clear everything up in 5 minutes if you want to, right?
Do you agree with our list? Whose portrayal of God is your favorite? With new top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Right. Come on then. Back to creation. I mustn't waste any more time. They'll think I've lost control again and put it all down to evolution.